Hey everybody, this is Angie from Color Tree Creations. Thanks for stopping by. I've been working on some new digital printables. As you can see, you can probably, figure out, they are playing cards, and they're pretty close to the actual thing. These are a little just slightly wider. Here is a finished card. I actually did part of them ahead of time so that you didn't have to watch me do them all. And they're comparable to the thickness of a playing card. I don't know if you can see. And of course they're not going to be perfect. These are, two pieces of paper put together. I don't know about you, but whenever I print, no matter how I set my margins, no matter how I set my alignment, your printers usually have an automatic alignment. When you print, there's always a slightly wider margin on one side than the other. So when you print them back to back, what did I set that in? They're not going to be perfect, right? So you can, I don't know if you can see the light through it like I can from here, but you can see it's just slightly off. But there's an easy solution around that. When you cut your playing cards out. I apparently got something on my desk, and what I did not bring down was my fussy cut scissors. Yay! I guess maybe I ought to tell a little bit more other than just, guess what? This is how you do it if you get them, or if you choose to purchase them. I printed the backs out on 110-pound cardstock, and the fronts out on 24 or 26-pound printer paper. And all I'm going to do is cut these out as best I can. See, I thought about doing it on my silhouette, but not everybody has a silhouette, so I do them by hand. And you can use whatever glue you want. What I've used is a pair of scissors, some Fabrifix. I'm going to use some Distress ink. You can use whatever ink and whatever color floats your boat, and a corner rounder. You don't have to have the corner rounder. It just kind of makes things easier. The one that I have is the small one from Hobby Lobby. I'm not even sure, and it never really specified that I know of what the size of it was, but it does these perfect. You just cut around them and then clip your corners. I'm trying to get these done before either me or my husband have to go pick my kids up from VBS. And then all your corners will be exactly the same if you do it like this. And as you can tell, there might be a little bit of white here and there, and of course that's what your Distress ink is for. But what I'm going to do first is this. Let me move some of this stuff out of my way here. Put my trash up real quick. I have a couple more videos I'm going to be doing soon. I just haven't had the time with holidays and birthdays, and I've got 2 more birthdays coming up. Sorry, I'm shaking the table. I go ahead and do the inside also. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it helps when you glue down. If you have any glue that oozes out, your Distress ink won't cover the corners or the edges where you have no. Pull my glue off. I don't like having that icky around it. So I take the cardstock one and I just run a little bead around the sides here. And then just a quick little, and you don't have to, like, I'm using the tip of this to spread some of this out. It's not all being, you know, not putting a ton of glue on here. And then make sure you have your, you know which way your back is oriented so that you know which way to put your front. And I made these little boogers because I just thought it would be really awesome to have some nature themed playing cards. But I didn't have any, what do you call it? The, all of my napkins to put over, sorry, these, they're not nature themed like this. Like there's botanical with flowers, lots of pretty stuff, and Paris and seashells and stuff like that, but nothing kind of grungy. Now, if you'll watch, I used a foxed paper graphic from the Graphics Fairy as the background that has these little dots and colors on it. And I don't know, this, I'm using the Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. I don't know if any of you've noticed, but like the Distressed Photo, yeah, Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. The Vintage Photo and just the Distress ink is a little more, it's just a little more, I don't know, this is kind of more of a brownie orange, and the other one is more of a brownie tan. But anyway, these are the ones that I've finished, and you can see I didn't do a whole suit. I just put 9 cards on the page, so you have a full page of critters. And then on the back, they're all the same, just like regular playing cards. I just thought the mushrooms would be kind of cute. And the thing is if you don't want to use one or the other, like if you want to put coffee stained paper on the back side of this, or on the back side of this, they'd make excellent journaling cards. Or you wouldn't even have to put a back on them if you print them out on like cardstock or heavier paper, like 32 or so. Copy paper would be thick. And then you have tuck spot. You could decorate it up. You could add some, you know, crocheted flowers and maybe a little, I'm just pulling from what I have sitting here on my table. Add a little bling, some washi tape, something like that. And I know there's a piece of, I don't know what that is. Looks like cardboard, you know, from when you cut the little slivers, because it's real soft, whatever it is. Anyway, so you could put something like that on your card and make it a tuck spot. Put some lace on it, or put it on top of a doily and then put it down, or let's see, I've got a card envelope here. You could put your envelope here, or another piece of something, book page, whatever, and tuck behind it. Just a few ideas, but yeah, that's it. I've been working on these. I've got 2 other sets of printables in the works. I have some vintage, it's just the theme is vintage. There's no rhyme or reason, kind of like a Tim Holtz-ish type thing. There's some music notes and music sheet and dragonflies and a little bit of botanical and a little bit of vintage ledger and just things like that. Some old receipts. And then I have a very, well, I think it's very cheerful and very bright. Prayer journal kit coming out. I can't talk or think today. I am just... Have you ever had one of those days or weeks or sometimes even months where it's like no matter what, you can't get the words out? You know what you're thinking of, but nothing ever comes out? That has been me the past like 2.5 weeks. I have just been completely out of it. And that is one reason why I haven't done any videos. I was going to do a couple of process videos, but if I can't speak, you're not going to understand it. I was going to, yeah, see, brain fart. Forgot what I was going to say. There were some other things I was wanting to do and share with you guys, but I can't think of it offhand. I've been making crocheted mini doilies also. They're kind of a no-brainer. I've been crocheting and knitting, knitting for almost 11 years and crocheting for at least 8. And, you know, so I've been making some crocheted flowers and mini doilies to go on my tuck spots and, you know, on my ephemera and stuff. I've got a few new things going on with a friend of mine who I've had a few people ask me to design planners, you know, like you do this day and that day kind of planners, not something where you plan your whole life, but, you know, a month at a glance, and then, hey, here's your grocery list, and here's your things that you've got coming up you need to make sure that you have done. Not just generic to-do stuff. Nothing major. I'm not well versed in plannerese. So we are working together. Oops, that one didn't even get in there all the way. We are trying to work together. I guess she's going to teach me about planning. Maybe that will help me get my act together, maybe, because I can't seem to get anything together. I'm probably the most dysfunctional and disorganized person you've ever met in your life. My kids, most of you know that I homeschool. Well, the homeschool program that we do, pretty much everything is already planned out for me, so I don't have to do anything other than sit the kids down and go over the material with them. I mean, I have to, you know, read in advance and find out what is on the agenda, but I don't have to sit and plan out specific worksheets for this day or that day because it's already done for me. And so that's, you know, that's a pretty cool thing, especially for someone as absent-minded and brain farty as I am. I don't know how else to say it. My mom, she was organized, she was super neat, and I am none of those things. I guess I got my traits from my father. I don't know. But organized is definitely not what I would call myself. I'm one of those people that I know this has to be done today and that has to be done today. Don't ask me beyond that because I couldn't tell you, and most likely even if I do have plans, I'll forget. And even when I try to get my stuff organized, everything together where it needs to be and how it needs to go, I will make myself a list. I'm a list maker. And I will get the stuff on that list done. But I'm also a horrible procrastinator, so I might have that list sitting on my desk or down here on this workspace for 6 months before I finally get, you know, the 12 things that are on there done. And then some weeks it's, you know, I get everything done and yay, everything's hunky-dory. It doesn't always work like that. So just because I write it down doesn't mean it's going to happen. I'm really bad about that, and I know I should be better, but boy, I didn't cut very well on that one at all. Let's let that one dry, and then I will ink up around it. See, guys? Sometimes, oh, we're oozing, folks. That's one thing that I don't like about this. It looks like I'm going to have to use my finger to spread that gooey gunk out. Sometimes that is the worst thing that can happen when you're not paying attention, and the next thing you know, it's all over your work. So make sure they match up. And then there we go. That one went pretty good. I mean, if it's like horribly bad hanging out and you don't want anyone to notice it, you can always, you know, go around with your scissors and trim again, but it's a junk journal and it's handmade, and there's a difference between handmade and looking slapped together, and you know, there's a fine line, and I skate that line. But I don't know, I really liked them. I was just sitting there one day thinking, man, how awesome would it have been to put in like the owl journal that I sold on Etsy. The really pretty Booksmith tome type one. It was a small one though. I'm gonna make a few more of those little ones. I don't know what kit to use though. Or if I might just do like I did with that one and just use scrapbook papers. And yeah. So any of you who follow Starla Moore on how to sell your stuff on Etsy, she just put out a freebie recently to those of us who have joined on when you're supposed to start your holiday planning. I'm already behind. I'm already behind. Me and my husband usually don't even shop for the kids. I mean, unless we see awesome deals somewhere. We generally don't even shop for the kids until like 2 weeks before Christmas. Usually it's, you know, we're a single income family, so it's let's see how much money we can save up to the very last minute. Alright. I know I've probably just given you guys way more information than what you wanted, but about my life. But there it is. Aren't those adorable? I love them. Yeah. So now that you've got to hear me ramble and you've seen my new printable kit, if you like them, leave me a thumbs up. Comment down below what other things would you guys like to see. I mean, on my channel, would you like to see process videos of how I do things or anything like that? I'm open. I'm learning. I'm working all the time on new things to add into my journals and stuff. Like, I've been taking a lot of the Tsunami Rose images and cutting them, printing them out smaller and cutting them up. I've been working on making my own things on my silhouette to add to some of my ephemera pieces. I've got some Graphics Fairy printables that I've been cutting out also to include in my stuff. So I'm hoping to see some improvement myself for the way I do things and the way I make things look. And practice, 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 right guys? So yeah, there's all this lovely stuff I've been doing, and thought I'd share some of it with you. I haven't been around in a while. I haven't really had much time not to just sit down, I haven't had much time to film or anything. So yeah, there's some images that I'm going to try working with. I'm thinking of making a vintage ladies journal, or a vintage journal of ladies, vintage ladies, however you want to say that. But yeah, okay, I am going to go this time, and because I have to go pick up kids, or my husband does, somebody does, and so I'm gonna go upstairs and flip a coin and see what's going on. You all take care. Thanks for stopping by and listening to my rambling. If you made it through the whole video, thank you so much. I know there are a lot of people out there who've been skipping them, and I can't say that I blame them, but sometimes I do good things that, y'all might be interested in. So I guess I'm gonna take off. I'll talk to you later. Bye.